Well, the concept arose out of two things. First of all, we are managing a program to educate the consumer and designers about leather in the modern world, what its values are, what its qualities are, and why it's such a wonderful material to use. And on the second hand, from the APLF side, we're keen to identify young designers, especially designers that are coming to the show but don't know a great deal about leather. So we thought if we established a club here where they could socialize, we could have some informal talks where they could learn about trends, about leather, about technology, about different hides and skins in a basic way. We could bring the community together and we could really teach people who had worked with plastics or with textiles into the world of leather, bring them into the world of leather and make them excited about using leather.
So in other words, you're highlighting the qualities of leather as a design material.
Exactly, and also trying to make sure that the space and the minds of the designer about leather is filled with good knowledge. If you search on the internet now about leather or about tanneries, you tend to find the historical negatives because no one is talking to the consumer and the designer about leather. We're all tanners. We just talk to each other and we're in love with the product. We know how wonderful it is. No one talks to the consumer except the people who have got some negative opinions about leather. So we want to fill that space, not only on the internet but also in the minds of the designers, so they understand the value, the quality of what they're working with in a natural material.
Yeah, I understand the comment you're making regarding about educating the designers, but on the other hand, as we all know, there's a very high demand for leather, especially in luxury products at the moment. How do you explain the fact that the consumer is keen on having leather, but at the same time there's a negative campaign against it in, let's say, in the tabloid press, for example?
Yes, the demand for leather, I think, is not going to go away. And leather can be very proud of its position because I think, despite all the negatives, the consumer in the main understands that they're dealing with a raw material which is renewable and which is better than taking something from a fossil fuel and building it up. But there's a lot of negatives running out about methane in farms, about the chemicals used in tanneries. Quite a lot of it is untrue because no one's been challenging it. And with the modern young consumer being more of an urban person rather than a rural person, as their parents and grandparents were, there's a danger if we stay quiet as an industry that the consumer's perception about what leather is and its qualities will start to be lost. And just because you're doing well now, you can't be complacent about the future. You look at any historical technology, things like the sailing ship. The moment of the sailing ship's greatest success was the moment when steamships were coming past them, and everyone thought nothing's going to take away the sailing ship, and then within a very short time it had gone and the steamship had taken over. And it's a funny, curious thing when an old technology's feeling that it's in the strongest position is often its weakest moment. It'll be very wrong just because luxury goods are profitable and popular now to assume that leather for all time is going to be an accepted material for young consumers.
In terms of educating the consumer and the designer about the qualities of leather, do you place much emphasis on the sustainable qualities and the environmental aspects compared to, let's say, synthetics made from petroleum derivatives?
Yeah, 100%, because one of the great things about leather is that it is a sustainable material and it has fabulous longevity. And if it's well designed, the articles don't just last for a few months, they last for years and years. And a well-crafted article from leather is almost an heirloom that gets passed down in the family. You're not just digging something out from under the ground as you are with oil. making it into plastic, using it once and throwing it into landfill to cause a problem. You're actually creating something that is going to last for generation after generation, or even in footwear at least last a very long time. And we're working now on circular economy aspects so that at the end of life we know what's going to happen with it, so it's going to be properly used and not going to be lost to society.
Understood. One final question about the Leather Club and the Leather Naturally campaign.
Yeah.
They go to, they're almost like twins, are they now?
Yes, I think we've created something here. It was experimental. It looks as though it's going to be a foundation of our way forward, working together for the future. This looks like a really clever concept that we've fallen into.
Yeah, so in other words, all the hard work you put into Leather Naturally over the last 2 to 3 years have come to fruition, and congratulations and thanks for the interview, Mike.
Thank you very much.